Hello, my name is Dr. Brian Raid, and I'm a naturopathic doctor. And this is a video in response to a question that was posted on one of my previous videos asking about what types of herbs I work with when treating patients with mold illness. So just as a general disclaimer, nothing I'm about to say should be constituted as medical advice. I'm just speaking about my personal experience working with patients just for educational purposes. Please always consult with your personal healthcare provider prior to engaging with any type of treatment. So in terms of using herbs for treating mold illness, the most common thing that I will work with in practice is using nasal sprays that have diluted essential oils in them. As I'm fond of saying to my patients, they should never spray pure essential oils up their nose because it will probably feel like battery acid going up their nose. And so in terms of treating mold with herbs, that's really a cornerstone of my mold treatment protocols in the vast majority of cases. There's other things, of course, we're going to work with at the same time. We're going to use intestinal binding agents like activated charcoal. We're ideally going to be working with some detox pathway support, supporting phase 1, phase 2, phase 2.5 detox pathways, making sure all the phase 3 pathways are working well, like patients sweating and kidneys are working well, urination's regular, they're staying hydrated to flush things out, and their bowels are moving regularly, which is so key. So of course we have that other support in place, but when it comes to actually killing mold that is known to or suspected to have colonized the sinuses, then that's where herbs are really important in my opinion and in my experience. So the essential oil nasal spray would be the again, one of the hallmark things to work with. There are some patients that I have where it's been helpful over time or sometimes necessary over time to use systemic anti-mold herbs. In terms of herbs being specifically studied to treat mold, most of the herbs that would go after fungi or after yeast, in my clinical experience at least, seem to have an anti-mold effect as well. And again, it's really important to make sure we're using herbs that are in a form and of a type that are able to be absorbed systemically. Some herbal extracts, for example, like a great example is berberine. Berberine is probably good at killing mold, I guess. I don't know, but it just doesn't get absorbed. So even whether it's the best mold killer on the planet or not, it wouldn't be indicated because we just don't really absorb berberine systemically very well. Whereas something like the herb cryptolepis or the herb nauclea, these are herbs that do get absorbed systemically. If they're in a tincture form, they're going to be even better systemically absorbed than, say, a dried capsule form. At least in my experience, that seems to be the way it plays out. And so using those types of herbs, or maybe the herb alcornia, maybe the herb seta, these are all herbs that the herbalist Stephen Buhner, who is just a brilliant human being and fantastic resources available out there about his work. Those are the types of herbs that I would be using for suspected systemic mold issues. Or if there's the occasional patient who just can't tolerate nasal spray for one reason or another, and so sometimes, as I'd like to say, instead of going sort of from the outside in, we're going to need to go from the inside out. And so getting those systemic herbs that they're taking orally, of course, as a tincture, and then that can sometimes help to clear things out of the sinuses as well. So that's the information that I have in my brain anyways about using herbs to treat mold. I suppose actually maybe there's one more little nugget in there. Sometimes we might use herbs as cholagogue herbs to help improve the phase 2.5 detox pathways in terms of actually excreting the processed toxins in the liver, ultimately getting them into the small intestine for bowel secretion or excretion rather. So that would be maybe another way that herbs could be used in treating mold illness. So if there's any questions about this video or anything else, please feel to comment in the post a comment in the comment section below, and I hope this is helpful.